Greetings, and welcome to Season 2 of Jason Plays Stellaris, also known as The Intern. I made some questionable decisions last time we played this game. A lot of questionable decisions. Decisions that made it apparent that I really don't know how to play this game as well as I thought that I had hoped that I would have. Don't worry about it. So, for Season 2, Lord of Vale has very generously agreed to take me on as his intern so that I can better learn how this game really works. We're going
There
to be
is no
set.
gun pointed at his head.
There is
This
no
is
gun pointed
voluntary.
at my head. I am agreeing. I will be fetching Lord of Vale's coffee or whatever it is our people that we settle upon casually consume while working. Maybe it'll
There'll
be
be stuff.
coffee.
There'll be stuff to manage.
Yes. But
And the more we go, hopefully the more you'll be able to do.
yeah. But the long and short of it is, for season 2, Lord of Vale and I are going to be playing on a cooperative empire, which means we're both going to be playing the same empire at the same time. Monabender has full on stated that he wants to go ahead and work on his own. Ramosa's probably going to work on his own because Ramosa wants to be a little chaos gremlin, as Ramosa does, which is fine. But what you're looking at here is actually not my Stellaris screen, but Lord of Vale's Stellaris screen, who is just sharing through the glory of Discord screen share, because he's going to teach me about how to build a species for Stellaris. And then we also get to see some of Lord's previous runs, like Mind Goblin or the Bleep Bloop Star Cooperative.
Some of these names are very uninspired, and some of them are just whatever sounds my brain made.
So, the floor is yours. Teach me.
Alright, so we'll go through a few builds and then we'll settle on one that you like and maybe tinker and tweak it so that it better fits our story and our narrative. Because the game really isn't about winning, it's about a story and a narrative, which what makes it great because everyone is different. It's randomly generated. It's really it's about the journey and not the destination, far more than anything else. So this is the most recent one I've done, the Rocky Democratic Coalition. Yes, that's a default name. Don't don't at me about it in the comments. It just is. I
Absolutely
am
at him about it in the comments.
When I play solo, if I don't have a funny name, I'll hit the randomize button and it'll give me whatever generic nonsense to work with because it's not so important. The flag is important though.
The
I do
flag
take time
is
to make flags.
glamour is the true endgame.
So, first thing we'll just go top to bottom, even though it's not the best order, it's just the easiest to manage. Appearance is just how we look. Yay! It only matters if you click like lithoid, because that means you rock people. Or I guess if you make yourself machines. But anyway, this is the rock people build, because we're rocks. And the direction this build goes in is their calamitous birth origin, which means they're rocks and they throw themselves at planets to colonize it. Why? Because it's funny. Yeah, the species name, they're literally just rocks. We are rocks. I'm very creative. I promise you season 2 will have a funny name, or at least something that's more creative than rock people called rocks.
Under the consideration that this may very well be the episode where we make it up now, yeah.
We might make it up now, or we might just come up with something in between now and the actual series and then just change it and then show it off at the start.
Ah, yes, the ship prefix of
The ship
yeet.
prefix. This is the only important thing for this build. Ship prefix is yeet. All of our
Ah,
ship names begin
yes.
with yeet.
Yes, hello,
It's
this is
fun.
Captain Rock of the Yeet Volconia.
Yeah.
Identify yourself immediately.
We're calling ourselves with the yeet planet shaper. Alright, the first important thing are the traits. You'll notice I still have some trait picks. That's because these green ones, once you pick them, unless you take the genetic ascension route, you can never remove them. They're just locked forever. And spoiler alert, I do not care for the genetic ascension route. So I like leaving some extra trait picks for the extra fun bonus traits you get because I like going cybernetic, which gives you some half human, half robot traits. And they're fun, and I like putting them on. So I saved some trait picks for that. The attributes Unruly is a pretty good negative one to take. It's the least bad and it gives you 2 free points. It's like an instant pick for just about any empire. Intelligent because science is good. And crystallization, which gives you more pop growth because lithoids by default, they have their own special rules. They get a pop growth penalty, which sucks. So we want to offset that.
It
But
also
the
makes them
bonus,
eat minerals instead of food.
yeah, they're rocks. They're silicon based, so they eat rocks instead of food. It also makes them live longer. See, food is bad for you. Eat rocks, people.
Disclaimer, don't actually eat rocks. You are not a rock. You are a human. Humans require food.
I'd also increase your habitability by 50%, meaning in the early game, there are very few planets you won't be able to colonize, which is great. It gives you a big boost in the early game. But the
That
minus
was
20% pop growth
actually
sucks.
that was actually a big deal for my early game in season 1 because my Fox people really liked warm but not too warm planets, and anything else they were just completely miserable in.
It's a problem for just about every empire that isn't lithoid or machine. Throughout the game, you will end up getting habitability boosts. It's also why I like going cybernetic, because once you convert yourself into cyborgs, you get the cybernetic trait on all your pops, which I believe gives plus 20% habitability. So it'll make all your planets just better. Or you could just wait until late game and terraform everything. That works too. But that's way later. But it goes faster if you take the adaptability tradition, because you get an agenda to unlock the next terraforming tech. But anyway, that's ahead of ourselves. This page doesn't actually matter. This is a generated name because I didn't come up with anything funny, because it was just a solo run to throw rocks at things. This is just flavor, doesn't matter. Alright, the important screen, the Calamitous Birth Origin. This is the one that lets you throw the rocks. Lets you build, where is it called? Lithoid meteorites instead of colony ships. You can of course still build regular colony ships, or you could just build a giant rock, stuff as many of your population as can fit in it, put it in a giant slingshot, and fling it across the universe at a planet you want to colonize. And then you colonize it, and it gets a massive crater.
Max districts plus 6, max mining districts plus 6, max agriculture districts minus 6, but if you don't need food, who cares?
Yep. And you get the pop growth speed penalty removed, basically. You get it countered. So it's good. But that's just on the home world. I don't know what that does. Yeah, when you colonize a world with the giant rock, it makes them habitable basically only for rock people. So it makes your planets great for you and bad for everyone else. Which makes it really unappealing for other people to invade, but people sometimes do anyway. But it's still funny.
I like funny.
You also get 2 buried lithoid blockers, which is just you can pay 1,000 minerals, and after 1 year, you get a free pop.
It's just like, hey, you left me under here, but it's cool. It's warm down here. I'm gonna take a really long nap.
Pretty much. That is funny. Basically, it's pretty funny, but that's where the benefits this origin end. There aren't any downsides really to it. The benefits are nice. It's not an incredibly optimal build, I'll be honest. The origin isn't incredible, it's just funny. There are other origins which definitely give better late game benefits. This is a stronger early game build, I'd say, but we'll get to those later. Alright, government ethics. I went with materialist, egalitarian, and militarist.
All
I
right,
believe your
explain why.
people. Uh, Egalitarian means you can put on utopian living standards. Utopian living standards means your unemployed pops will produce science at the cost of extra consumer goods upkeep. And unless you're. And so long as your consumer goods monthly upkeep is not in the negatives, you will get extra science from your unemployed pops. And it's pretty great. It,
Basically, in a utopian society, those who are unemployed are free to pursue grander pursuits.
yep.
Okay.
And in late game, you shouldn't have a consumer goods deficit because you'll be able to build Ecumenopolis, I probably said that wrong, worlds, which have crazy districts that give crazy amount of consumer goods. Or alloys. But late game, you shouldn't be in a deficit, or rather, we won't be in a deficit, and so we can just get extra science from unemployed pops, assuming we have any. It also allows you to go down the greater good Senate resolution path without being in breach of galactic law, because they ban a lot of basic conditions. They ban, I think, decent substance and social welfare at some point. And it's basically everyone that's not an egalitarian empire will coat, malt, and seethe and be in breach of galactic law. Also, you get some pretty nice bonuses. You get 5% specialist resource pop output, and the 20% faction resource output it's okay. I don't know. Some people probably like it because it gives you more unity in the early game. I don't play a unity rush, so it's to me.
Okay.
Fnatic just does the same thing. Egalitarian also means you can't be an autocracy. It means you have to be a democracy or an oligarchy. I like being democratic because it feels good. That's about it. I think oligarchy might be statistically better for being more optimal. But this isn't about being optimal or min-maxing. It's about a story and what feels good.
Yep.
Also materialist. Why? Because I go cybernetic. And these guys have research speed bonuses and less robot upkeep.
Which
So I don't
means
think
we
I end
spend less money.
Yeah, though I don't think I end up building too many robots. I just build cyborgs. I'm not sure if cyborgs are considered robots or not. Not sure. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. It doesn't matter.
Research speed plus is still good
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, Fnatic Materials gives you even more research speed, but it's better to. I like spending the third point on Militarist. Why? Because ship fire rate is strong, and you get the no retreat doctrine, which is really powerful. No retreat means you don't retreat ever, but so you don't get those annoying things of you're winning or you're tied, but one fleet is slightly losing a little bit of health, so they just go into pre-FTL, and now your invasion is screwed. No, they're stuck in until either they all die or you manually hit the retreat button.
Victory or death.
Yeah, but you do get a bonus plus 33% ship fire rate for no retreat, which is really nice.
That's 33% more DPS.
Yeah, it's really strong. I believe your Fox people, they were Fanatic, Spiritualist, and Xenophile.
Xenophile. Yep.
Xenophile is... it's alright. I don't care much for it. The boosts aren't bad. They're just not as good as a lot of the others. Spiritualist is okay. Spiritualist is great when you want to get a lot of unity early. And just run a bunch of edicts, which is pretty strong late game. But it's either better unity and edicts, which just gives you more unity, or rather you're saving unity that you're spending, because you're usually over the cap, or just more research speed. And for this build, I like the research speed. Anyway, and the civics, I went with Beacon of Liberty, which I don't usually go, but it was the Empire size from Pops was pretty good, and you get some unity for it, which helps you go through those tech trees faster, or the tradition trees. The Protector of Liberty position, it's alright. Meh. And a parliamentary system for even more early unity, just because it's a strong early game one. And Council Agenda speed is really nice to have because you can end up like I think I had my solar had like 4 or 5 agendas giving boosts all simultaneously, which is it lets you stack a lot of bonuses. It's real nice.
Okay.
Also, just because of the way this civic is, or the way the origin is, I can't take a bunch of the ones that I would normally take. Yeah, I can't. Normally, I run catalytic processing and planetscapers. I know I just hover over them quickly, but don't worry, you'll see them in the other choices. This is the advisor voice. If they're rock people, so they'll go lithoid. If it's annoying us, we'll change it mid game because we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's an option you can just change it. It's just the voice that says like technology complete and whatnot.
I see.
Sometimes you complete a tech, they'll say rock and new tech.
Ha.
Ah, it's funny until you hear it for like the 30th time.
Yeah, but that's okay. With the key thing is that there's going to be a lot of banter going on during the stream, so we shouldn't have an issue
Yeah,
with this.
yeah, and if it ever does become grading, we'll just change to something else. There's a lot of different ones you could put on. Uh, Empire name. I'm lazy. I hit the random button. It gave me a random name, and I said, okay, we'll come up with something clever.
Yep.
The flag. I like yellow in my flag.
Okay.
And they just made a flag that looks decent. It's not my favorite flag, but it's a flag. It works.
Yep.
Ship appearance is just flavor. I think I put on cybernetic. Yeah. Different ships look different.
Out of morbid
Again,
curiosity, what do the lithoid ships look like?
rocks.
I love it.
Yeah, they look like rocks. I like cybernetic when they look like big laser cannons. Yeah, this is ruler appearance. None of this matters. Is this just gonna be your first leader anyway?
Yep.
Later elected leaders won't do anything. Default ruler title because lazy.
And then ruler traits, I presume, are also only for the first ruler.
Yeah, only for the first ruler, and you only get one. As lithoids, I usually go mining rush first to get more minerals. Minerals early game are very important because it's your entire economy early, basically, because it's powering all your district building, and especially for this build, you need a lot of minerals to go and colonize new worlds.
And we
Fortunately,
eat,
because
we,
you're lithoids,
and if we're playing rock people, we eat the minerals.
yeah,
So
but also because you eat the minerals means that your starting planet won't have any food districts. Instead of 2 food districts, you get 2 mineral districts, so you end up with a nice mineral surplus early. So that's this build. What was this one? This one was pretty similar. This one is just overtuned. We can look at it, I guess. It's gonna be very similar to the other one. More default names. Oh yeah, my ship was the.
the
I'm on the Breakneck Ridge. Traits. Right. I guess it's worth talking about this. This is the overtuned origin. Overtuned means you get a bunch of special traits you can put on that all give huge boosts to you, all at the cost of leader lifespan. It's why they're lithoid, because lithoids get, by default, plus 50-year leader lifespan, so you have an extra 50 years to spend. If you're not lithoids and you put in a bunch of overtunes, your leaders can live literally like 200 days and then they die. It's sad. And then you run out of leaders and you're sad.
additional starting
You,
technologies, gene tailoring.
yeah, that lets you modify your genes. Lets you remove the bad ones and add more good ones. But you can't remove good ones. But for overtuned, you can always add and remove the overtuned ones. Why? Reasons. I don't know. You also get what could possibly go wrong. You double the effect of your overtuned traits, or double the positive effects. And you get 100% pop-up keep, which means they will eat more food and use more consumer goods. The pop-up keep will double for all of your pops, but only the ones with the overtuned traits will actually get anything out of it. So if you have a lot of migration treaties, this is really bad. Generally speaking, I don't like migration treaties. We're very friendly and very tolerant, but keep out. You could visit on weekends. You could do your tourism. We don't want you living here. Thank you and good day. So let's go over some of these overtuned traits to see how silly they can get. I have this one, Fleeting Excellence. You get the auto-modding traits. Auto-modding is really strong because every one of your pops will get a special trait put on them specific for their job. And so they'll be like, oh, are you working a Unity job? You produce more Unity now. Are you doing a science job? You can produce more science. Are you mining? You'll produce more minerals. And so on. It'll basically make all your pops just be more efficient without having to put on any of those specific traits. It also means that putting on any of those specific traits is not useful because it doesn't stack with another copy of itself.
Good to know.
Pre-planned growth gives you more growth speed, more pop growth, but 30 years off your lifespan. Yeah. And this one also just a lot of extra science, but another 30 years off your lifespan. So until you've got minus 80 years of leader lifespan, which you're thinking a normal empire means your leaders will die at age like 20. But because you're lithoids and you have plus 50 years lifespan, they'll die at age like 70 or 75. Which honestly is a lot more reasonable because you hire them at age usually like 20 to 30.
Yeah.
So you'll have to replace your leaders at like 2250 or something, which it means you won't be able to get to really high level leaders, which are really good ones. At least not until later when you get cybernetics, which also gives you a lot more leader lifespan. And you get a bunch of leader lifespan tech, then your leaders can still live longer, normally anyway. The origin was overtuned. Default. These are the same ethics. This used the Planetscaper Civic. I guess I'll talk about that now. I love Planetscapers. It's a new Civic from one of the recent DLCs. I love playing with it. It's fun. What it does is gives you a lot of great modifiers. All your jobs produce 10% resources, 10% pop growth speed, less upkeep. You clear your blockers faster. The downside, all of your blockers will give you massive penalties, and you will start the game making deficits. But you will start with free technologies to remove all the blockers on your homeworld. And once you remove them, your homeworld will produce more resources than usual. So, compared to the other build, the previous one, this one has a much slower early game start, but ramps up very strong into the mid game and late game. Also, you'll be clearing a lot of blockers because whenever you find a new blocker on a planet, you will be given the option to research that tech and it will stay there. So you can just clear your blockers, and then it's a little bit more complicated, but it's not that bad. Also, there's an ascension perk called Mastery of Nature. Did you take that one, Jason? I don't think you did.
I don't
remember.
think so. No.
This gives you that ascension perk for free. And
Oh.
makes it better. It's the same thing, but better. Instead, Master of Nature, it's a decision on a planet. It costs you, I believe, some money and some influence, and then you get +2 districts. This gives you Cultivated Worldscaping, which gives you +3 districts. It costs, I believe, 2,000 energy credits, 100 influence, and takes 1 year or 2 years to do. I think 1 year. The only caveat to it is you can only run it on a planet that has no blockers. So if you've cleared up the planet of all the blockers and built all the districts, and it's has unemployed people, you can just make more districts, but only once per world. But past that point, you can just tell people to move somewhere else or encourage them to move. It's fine. Or just run Utopian Abundance and the extra unemployed buff just gives you free science. Advisor voice. I don't know why I had hive mind on this. I don't think they were a hive. No, they're not a hive mind. I don't know. It's probably just lazy. It's a similar flag. Yeah, it's yeah. I ran charisma on this one for more edict fund, but it's pretty similar. The other one, this one is substantially different.
Alliance of the Uncity.
Yeah,
Fungoid.
Yeah, they aren't rock people. I also really like this flag.
You went hard on that flag.
Yeah, these guys are, well, very different. These are fungoid people. They're like big mushrooms. Oh, they're just the uncities.
Uncidian.
Why did I do anything funny for the? All right, they had the holy science vessels because these are very religious people or mushrooms. Right, and just as the first empire, I left some trait picks for cybernetic trait picks. The only one I put on for these guys was budding, which is the same thing as the crystallization for the lithoids. It just gives you extra pop growth for every pop working as a slave or better. That's why these are fungoid people. It's so that you can get budding, because budding is only there, I believe, for fungoids and toxoids. I think might be wrong on that. No, yeah, I'm wrong. Things fungoids and plantoids. It's just the plant-based ones that can get the budding trait. Phototrophic is interesting. Anyway, their homeworld is 2 rock and 3 wheat. It's funny. Laugh. Alright, this is the important thing. The origin. These are the cybernetic creed. What does this do? You're forced to ascend cybernetically. They are religious people. What is their religion? Their religion is becoming cyborgs. It's what it is. They're the most materialist religious people ever. It's very funny.
Does
that does give you
not
some.
have species type machine.
Yeah, you're not a machine. You are guaranteed the research at the beginning for integrated cybernetics, which is required in order to ascend cybernetically. It also means you don't have to take the cybernetic ascension perk to ascend cybernetically, so you get, it's basically like a free 9th ascension perk for origin, which also gives you a lot of really strong buffs because every spiritualist pop will get the ritualistic implants trait for free, which gives you more alloys, more engineering research, and more jobs, and more worker resource output, and some army damage, which is meh. Actually, or maybe that changes based on your dominant creed. I don't know. It probably changes based on your dominant creed, because you get 4 creeds, 4 different religions, and when you start ascending, you will have to pick a religion to go down and make everyone else upset, but they will cope, mold, and seethe, and eventually just join the fold. And then what you do is you start brutally suppressing everyone that's not religious. Because you want as many people to be religious, because only the religious people get these extra benefits.
I see.
Especially because after you ascend, I believe these ritualistic implants, they become a lot better. Instead of plus 5%, I believe it becomes plus 20%.
That's very significant.
It's quite significant. I think it's just the spiritualist pops that get it. Or maybe it's just, I don't remember. But it's, yeah, these are your religions. You get the Fellowship of the Hammer. I believe those are ones who will give your army and your military some extra boosts. You have the Templars of Steel, who, if you go down them, they will improve your specialist, so you'll make more alloys and consumer goods. The Choir of the Mind will increase your science. And the Commune of Toil are the communists. They will increase all your worker outputs. Every time I do this, I end up going with the Choir of the Mind, which will give you like a lot of extra research boosts. Late game, you can get some crazy research numbers. It's wild. The requirements, though, means you must be spiritualist and you cannot be egalitarian. So no utopian living standards for you, but you're just very, very religious and militarist for the no retreat, because that's very strong. But it can be changed to anything that's not egalitarian or materialist. As the civics, we got the planetscapers again, and catalytic processing, which means your food becomes alloys, and your rare materials like your rocks and your farts and whatever the third one is. I don't remember the motes, I think.
Disclaimer for those who were not here for Season 1. We lovingly refer to exotic gases as farts.
Yes. Yeah, they all, instead of using minerals as upkeep, they will use food as upkeep. And for the alloys, I believe they produce more than the minerals. They consume more food than minerals consume minerals, but they also produce extra alloys. And food is cheap and very easy to make more of. So catalytic processing is at this point in time seen as arguably the best civic in the game, because it is ludicrously strong if you have a lot of excess food, which is very easy to come across. I used to have the cyberpunk voice. It's fun.
Star hopping's all fun and games until you trip an alarm and some angry drones appear.
Okay.
It's a fun voice. It's just flag. For some reason, I have lithoid ships. I guess I just thought they looked cool in making the build. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't have to make sense. Oh yeah,
Mr. Important.
Yeah, I like calling the leaders Mr. Important, or just, sometimes I'll just say like some dude on a park bench. Yeah, I also, this build didn't need, yeah, the first leader, first trade is only marginally important, because at some point they'll lose an election.
They'll either lose an election or they'll die.
Yeah. So those are my three most recent builds. Beyond that, I don't even remember what this one was. Alright, this was just, yeah, there's a pattern in my builds based on what I like to play.
I
There's
see a lot of
that
planetscapers. I see a lot of unruly.
Well, unruly is pretty ubiquitous across most Stellaris players because it's very good. So where do you want to go from here? Do you want to pick one of these, tinker with it a bit? Do we want to just decide on one?
I think let's just start fresh, create a new one.
Okay, sure.
Because that would be the one that would appeal to me the most.
Sure. Let's go through appearance. This isn't a hugely important choice unless you want to be rock people. So do you want to be rock people?
You
seemed, and we could change our mind later.
You seemed really interested in doing the whole build of yeeting ourselves into other planets, so...
It's just funny. We could do that if you want.
I like funny. We could do funny.
I like funny. It's not particularly optimal, but it is quite funny just to see yourself flying across. And it's still serviceable. Alright, which rock people type?
That is a fantastic question. Do any of them look like vaguely like dragons? There's
this one. It's kind of dragon-ish or bird-ish.
Yeah, that
one.
Oh yeah, no, that one, that one, that one, that one. Weird
Are we gonna try to
seahorse rock looking thing.
we're gonna try to flex on mono with it?
Sure are.
This one is particularly hideous.
Yeah, we're not. I don't want a
This is
night.
nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
This one's shiny. This one has eyes. This one
Yep.
has no eyes.
No, we will have eyes.
Yep. Got a
Species
funny
name.
name.
Obel, obelisk, obelfish,
Obblefish?
fishalisk.
All right, that maybe we might want to come back to this later and change it, but
Yeah, but for now, plural is fishalisks. And the adjective is Liskian.
nameless. This is just tell me what your ships are named. You can always rename them later.
Yeah.
It's not super important. Just pick some lithoid names, I guess.
Go through each of the lithoid ones. I'm looking at ship name. Oh my god. Something. Okay. We're just making up rock names. And
Yeah,
number
that's
3
what I-
is 2 or 3 words with lots of apostrophes, and 4 is. Okay, yeah. 4 is just English but purple prose. We're going with 4.
You have a ship prefix in mind?
Um,
I mean, we're yeeting ourselves, so we can go with yeet. It is funny, but it's not particularly practical.
no, we'll go with Yeet for now, and if we change our minds, we can come back to it.
Or
Cool. The yeeted sheer statement. The yeeted adamant fleck. Nope, it's glorious. We're keeping it.
beautiful. All right, traits. So we get lithoid.
Obviously. And we're gonna go find unruly because
Yeah, that's
now we have 4 trait points. Or we can
Yeah.
leave some...
like
some-
we could just put more in and just fill it up completely with stuff, but I've been experimenting not doing that, just to have more room for cybernetic traits later.
Yeah, I want to leave a couple of picks, so we're gonna go ahead and spend...
That's another trait you get. Late game, you will unlock vocational genomics. Genomics, I want to say is the name of it. You know how the Overtuned had their fleeting excellence, which lets you auto mod the pops, which gives you each pop gets
Mhm.
like a specific trait. Cybernetic gets one of those too, just as a regular cybernetic trait for a cost of 2 trait points. Vocational genomics gives you one for just regular genetics that you can just put on at a cost of 3. So it's generally a good idea to leave an extra slot open for it, or something
Yeah.
there temporarily, so you can get multiple auto-modding stacked on each other. In Season 1, the Mind Goblin, they had 3 stacks of it. They had the Cybernetic, the Genetic, and the Overtuned.
I see. But from what I'm understanding, we want to leave a couple of trait picks, but go
Yeah.
ahead and spend the trait points.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm guessing Ingenious is just more science.
This is just more science. It's
Intelligent is more science. What is Ingenious?
This
2
part more
options up.
energy
Energy credits from jobs.
Meh. We don't need
Meh.
it.
Industrious is
It's
minerals
minerals,
from
it's
jobs.
Useful because we're lithoid. We don't need it. We have so many mining districts. Late game, it would be a burden
True.
because you get mega structures. That's gonna be like, here's like 3,000 minerals a month, and an edict be like, you want minerals? Here's like an extra 33% mineral income. Here you go.
So, not necessary. Intelligent
Yeah.
seems necessary.
Intelligent is very good. I'll slap
Intelligent
that one
is
on.
always...
Yeah. So we can have 2 1s down or a 2. Let's see. There should be some fun ones. Yeah, these are the fun ones down here. pop growth during war and crisis plus 30% sounds better than it is, because unless we're
Ideally, you
planning on
don't
going
want
to
to be
war.
ideally you don't want to be at war.
Yeah,
And
but you could also game the system and just be at war with someone over nothing for like a forever.
true.
And 30% pop growth is nice, but also being at war means there's a lot of things you can't do. I
Right.
don't usually run this. Radio traffic is very interesting, but I don't think it fits this build.
It doesn't.
I could show a different build. Maybe not. The Global Warming Consortium that just turns everything into two worlds runs radio traffic because it's funny. Just to cut off some pop upkeep. It's mediocre at best, though.
Next, crystallization,
Crystallization is you get extra pop growth for every pop you have working on a planet. It's pretty good and it helps to combat the 25% pop growth penalty lithoids have.
You know what? Yeah, let's just do that one.
There's also these over here. Each pop will produce some rare resources.
That's
One of them
really
is
funny.
literally, but this one is literally just you're just farting the exotic gases.
And scintillating skin is probably another form of
Yeah, you're rock people, and just your skin is rare. They're all, I don't know. How many pops do you have? I think maybe like 300, 400. That's what,
Yeah.
3 to 4 rare crystals a month.
It would be funny, but it wouldn't necessarily be useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can leave those for the inevitable cybernetics picks.
Yeah. Alright, what do we want to name our home world?
Boy, that's a great question.
We could just name it something exotic and just put like a bunch of weird accents in it.
Start hitting that random button for a few. I'm sorry, did it seriously offer us bruv?
I think it did.
Yeah, no, let's keep those. We
All
might
right,
come back
and-
to this.
And this beanie meanie, it doesn't matter.
Desert world. Just miserable desert. Because we're rocks. And it's like we're caring for our little tiny microscopic babies.
City appearance.
Obviously.
This only shows up for when someone goes into the diplomacy screen with us.
That's fine. Whoa, 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 whoa. Go back. Go back. That one.
This one?
Yeah,
Or
that one. That one. 32.
Alright. Sure.
I like that one.
Alright, so you want to be yeeting yourselves?
Uh-huh.
Let me find where's the yeet button?
Calamitous.
Calamitous birth. Here it is. Yeet.
There we go.
Alright. Ethics and authority type. What do we want?
Well, looking at ethics, the no retreat option is great.
It is.
And now it's a matter of choosing where to put the other 2 points. Because there's no point in not spending the points. Correct?
If you do not spend the points, you cannot you have to spend the points. If
Okay.
you don't spend them, the game will be like, you have unspent ethic points.
What's that one in the center?
That is Gestalt Consciousness. That's what lets you be a hive mind. Or a machine
Oh.
empire. It costs 3, it means all of them are used. It basically means everything we just did can almost be ignored.
No, thank you.
No, I was thinking of going through the Hive Mind Goblin build, but Hive Mind's played so differently. that I don't think it's a particularly good learning experience. It's good in the sense that it would cut out some other things, like you don't have to worry about consumer goods. But it also means because you're not worrying about consumer goods, you're not really playing the full game. You're playing a slightly different game, so
Yeah. We're not going to worry about xenophile or xenophobe
yeah,
because we
it's
don't want, you know, other people to just freely show up, but on the same token, they can visit, but we don't want them to live here, but we also don't want to be known as, like, the racist empire.
no, we don't have to be racist.
We don't, yeah. Racism is bad.
Yeah, there's more
What's
than enough
the
ways to be
stronger
friendly with
version
people.
of the warlike one that we've chosen?
Oh, it just gives you more ship fire rate and less claim influence cost. It, the fanatic ones, they're just usually double the moderate ones. I think you can run them if you really want to go down one route. Like the super religious people, the cybernetic creed, I run fanatic spiritualists on because you really want to get a lot of spiritualists in them. But it can also be nice to be varied.
Okay. And on the opposite end of spiritualist is the egalitarian?
Materialist.
Materialist.
Materialist. Opposite of egalitarian is authoritarian. You get a bit more monthly influence and worker pop output, but it means that you can't be democracy.
Nah, we're gonna... I do want to
Also,
be...
Utopian living standards, if you can pay the cost, is the best form of living.
Of course it is. It's utopian.
Yeah.
Duh. And... And fanatic egalitarian.
It's just more specialist pop output. Specialist pop output is nothing to sneeze at. You know, there is an argument to be made to building to be playing something like this. Fanatic egalitarian and materialist. Or, egalitarian fanatic materialist. That those are valid options.
Let's go materialist egalitarian. Because I like both those effects, and I can't decide which one I like enough to make them fanatic at the cost of one ship being like, actually, I'm gonna retreat, guys. Bye. No, you're not.
Yeah, it's really annoying how they do that. Yeah. Also, what's nice is each of these, when you use it, they get their own special council agenda that you could run for the faction.
I see.
Like, from what I've heard, I think the pacifist one is pretty strong. It generates a lot of unity. But the pacifist penalties are just so bad. It means you can't do aggressive wars. And this one just means you must only use defensive wars, so you can't even do, like, liberation wars to free someone else's vassal or an ideological war. No, you just literally can't fight anyone if they don't start a war with you, which makes it really annoying if, like, the Khan come and take a bunch of your stuff. Means you can't claim it back through force.
Alright. Well, for authority, we already agreed. Democracy, because reasons.
Because it feels good.
It does.
It feels nice. It's about the story and the feel and the vibes.
And now civics.
Yeah. There's a lot of them to pick from.
And a lot of them we can't.
Because we did Calamitous Birth, it means you can't do planescapers. You can't, like, tend the planets if you're pelting them with rocks.
But that makes sense.
That's not exactly a... Yeah. You also can't do catalytic processing.
Which is not showing up for me. You're going to need to mouse off of that, and then...
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Alright, well, let's focus on the ones we can choose.
Yeah. Well, you can't do catalytic processing because when you hurl yourselves as rocks at planets, you kill all the natural life on it, pretty much.
Whoops.
Oops. Oh well, not our problem. We can pollute, but this isn't a pollution build, I don't think. Yeah, this is what I do when I this is what the Global Warming Consortium run.
I see. I
They run
remember that
this.
build.
They run this and the catalytic processing to just make as many alloys as possible.
All right, scroll right. Let's just go from the top.
All right, anglers. This isn't really for us because it just produces more food.
Nope. Next.
Astrometeorology. This just has to do with cosmic storms, which tend to fade out by late game anyway.
Okay, don't care.
Yeah. Beacon of
Beacon
Liberty. I quite like it. Empire Size from Pops is good.
Egalitarian ethics attraction.
Yeah, Protector of Liberty is It's not bad. But
The monthly. I like the monthly
yeah.
uniter. I'm
Yeah,
gonna put
it's
that.
nice.
I'm gonna have that as a
But
maybe. Well, yeah, we'll click
tentatively
it.
put it there.
Beastmasters.
Beastmasters relates to the latest DLC to capture space fauna and such. I've never interacted with it much.
There was
what
the
I've heard,
part of
it's
me that
meh.
like discovered the space fauna at the end of season 1, and I remember being incredibly into it. But I think I might save that for like a personal playthrough.
Yeah, save for a personal one because it does require a bit more research into how exactly they work
And
probably some patching because I've heard that the space fauna ships are very underpowered late game.
well, we'll pass on that for now.
Oh, this is just bad. This is just straight up ass. Stability and unity from bureaucrats and administrators. Ew.
Nah.
That's really not useful.
Citizen
service.
service.
Naval capacity. Eh. This is a whole lot of meh.
We're not. Our rocks are not Helldivers, so cutthroat politics.
This lets you spy a little better, and edict upkeep is nice. Meh. A lot of these
Okay.
are going to be meh.
Dark Consortium.
This is an interesting one. It's just gives you some more dark matter. It's. Do you want to run Cosmogenesis? That's an Ascension perk that lets you become the Crisis. It's what Ramosa was doing. It gives you a lot of science, and it gives you a big science brain fat you could throw pops in. It will slowly drain their brains, but generate a lot of science.
Do we want to become the Crisis?
You can get Fallen Empire buildings. I don't really know how it works. I'll be honest. I've only run it like half of the game.
We'll put that on the back burner because that's a maybe.
Yeah, if you add this at the start, you can never remove it. It's just there.
Yeah.
And this just gives you access to dark matter early. You will get access to dark matter later normally anyway.
Yeah.
But it's usually like a mid to late game thing. But you do get a lot of dark matter from your researchers. But Diplomatic Corps. This is if do you want to play politics and just try to run the Senate? Worth noting, you can't be the custodian and the crisis simultaneously.
That makes sense, though.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna put that in my head as a maybe. Next.
Yeah, we'll put this in, maybe I'll come back to it later. This is just, do you want to go to war with a bunch of people?
Not really.
All right, then pass.
Eager
Explorers. I'm gonna veto that because it makes the game a lot harder and it's kind of bad. You use some modifiers, but
start at a technological and infrastructural disadvantage and with 10 fewer pops than normal. Start with 2 explorers.
Yeah, it's we're gonna veto that one.
Okay.
Efficient bureaucracy. Ew.
Anything that has the word bureaucracy in it just doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Environmentalists. Ew. This is terrible. You have blockers. You get unity from your blockers. Problem is, they're blockers. So you're gonna have plant not a lot of districts on them.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I don't like it.
No. Functional architecture.
Is this just like +1 buildings or something? Yeah, that's not useful. Like, maybe it's nice
Building
early
and
game, then you...
district cost. Like, I'd be happier with that
Yeah,
if it were upkeep reductions.
yeah. Like, yeah, it's fine from the start with it, and then trade out of it later, but eh.
All right, Galactic Curators.
This is one of the new ones. You can build your Grand Archive earlier in the game,
And cheaper.
and and your archive specimens will produce a bit more.
That sounds
Honestly, I
like
played a game with this. It's a bit nice, but it's you get a nice edict from it, but
that sounds like it's gonna
it's
be
like
for
it's
my private game.
yeah,
Because
it's solid in
hey,
the B tier, I think.
this is gonna be the first I've announced it, but I am going to announce that not only will I be having my playthrough where I am the intern, but I'm also going to record a single-player playthrough where I experiment with some stuff and what I learn on my own. And these
Ooh,
will be
that's fun.
simultaneous. So I'm gonna try to arrange it that episode of the intern, episode of the explorer, which is what I'm gonna call it.
I would recommend not being afraid to pause and to take a minute to Google stuff on the wiki or on Reddit, because there's a lot of stuff that can happen.
Oh
There's
yeah,
no shame in pausing for 2 minutes to type into Google.
Yeah.
Take no shame in that. It's all part of learning. Anyway, Genesis got... Oh, this one. I've heard this one's bad.
I see terraforming, and I don't do a lot of terraforming, and frankly, we're not gonna need terraforming, so whatever.
Yeah, this one just replaces your colony ships. We already have rock colony ships. We don't need... Oh, this one just gives you some extra capacity. It's...
Not
really not useful.
stellar. Hyperspace speciality.
It's okay.
15% physics research is pretty nice, but
It is. It's, not great, not terrible.
yep. Idealistic foundation.
Oh, this is just... It's very basic. This looks like an old one that's sort of lost steam with more new fun ones.
Yeah. Masterful Crafters.
Masterful Crafters. This one's great if you're doing a trade build. We're not doing a trade build. You
Okay.
get some extra consumer goods, but it's good. But it's good in certain builds, and it's not super synergistic with what we have. Memorialists. This one's weird.
Death Chroniclers.
Yeah, I don't think this fits too much into this
No.
build. Merchant
Merchant
guilds.
guilds.
We're not running a trade build, so this isn't for us.
Meritocracy.
Meritocracy, that's a great pick for a third civic because it gives you more specialist pop output. It's not super useful right away. It's useful like halfway through the game when you get the extra civic.
Mining guilds,
Mining
I presume,
guilds.
makes you better at mining.
Yeah, sounds great because you're lithoid, but then you realize you're using an entire civic on it, and you realize part of the game, damn, I wish this was something else.
Yeah, like, +1 minerals from miners sounds great, but we're good. Lithoids
For a
get
whole
so
civic?
many huge things.
Mutagenic spas. Yeah, you can get some pop growth speed for industrial district, but the habitability and the happiness means that it almost counters it out.
No, thank you. Nationalistic zeal.
Oh, this is a war one.
Nope.
Diplomatic weight per rival. There's a lot of things that give you bonuses for rivaling people. I don't like rivaling people. All right, we're at natural design.
Locks all
nope.
ascension paths. That's
Nope,
all I
not-
needed to read.
Nope, no thank you. Parliamentary system. This one gives you more unity in the early mid game. It's pretty good early. Speaker of Parliament's great. If you want to go like full democracy, you could.
Refresh me as to what diplomatic corps does again.
This one gives you more diplomatic weight. This one helps you manage the Senate better. It lets you be friends with your neighbors better.
Yeah, let's keep diplomatic corps.
Okay. And remember, we can always change mid-game by reforming our government at the cost of some unity. Pleasure seekers.
Allows decadent lifestyle living standard.
Yeah, we have utopian abundance.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Police state. I don't think that fits our.
Stability
wanna
and
be
unity
doing.
from enforcers and telepaths. Whatever. Reanimators.
Oh, this is if you want to build zombies.
If you want to build something.
Yeah, you can do that. It's a choice. You can
Granting
make.
necromancer jobs and allowing the
Yeah.
recruitment of undead armies.
Yeah.
Unironically.
Yeah, it's you can make a build around it. I don't think this build is great for it, but you can do it if you really want. I don't really know how it works, but
Defeated organic leviathans can sometimes be resurrected.
yeah, the build direction for this is you want to be making a bunch of your own armies, going to war with people, invading their planets, killing their people, and then turning their people into zombies who serve you.
That's funny. Not for
It's
this
funny.
build, but that might be something to explore in the future.
This
Relentless
is the
industrialists.
Pollution. It's the solution, but not for this build.
Nope. Scavengers.
Reaching debris. Eh.
That's just a lot of extra admin work.
Yeah, it's meh. Selective kinship. Oh, this makes everyone hate us. No, thank you.
Yeah. The Shadow Council.
This just helps us choose our leaders better. Eh.
Yeah, not really huge. Next. Sovereign
Sovereign
Guardianship.
Guardianship. Oh, this is for if you want to run a very tall empire.
So when you
Emperors of the
say
Planet.
tall, you mean like just a few planets that you build
Yeah,
to
like-
all unholy hell.
Yeah. It's like instead of going like to 40 planets and putting a bunch of additional on each, you go to like 10 planets and put 40 districts on all of them, and
I see.
it's-
That's not very appealing
yeah.
to me.
Storm Devotion, that's more for the new cosmic storms. You get special buildings. The problem with this one is the storms move, and there's no way to keep a storm in place forever. So all these benefits that they'll give you, which are great,
Are flighting.
they're flighty. They come and go after a few years, and they just gotta wait for the next storm. And by late game, everyone is going, we don't want storms, no thank you. So they build up all these huge storm repulsion arrays. So yeah,
Yeah.
sure, that when they spawn, they'll spawn on your zones, but they just won't spawn that often.
Okay, no thank you.
Technocracy, this is what Ramos was running. You get some science directors, you get some more science out of it. It's not bad. Like
If you're
it's
building
quite
around
good,
it,
but-
it's...
like we kind of are, but I think there's better ones.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's not a bad pick.
Vaults of Knowledge.
What does this do? You get a special building. This is giving your leaders more experience, which is nice. It's okay, I guess.
I feel like that would better serve a build where the leaders don't live as long, so that way it makes up for the gap. And then finally, warrior culture.
Probably not for us. based
Yeah,
on
whatever.
just-
No.
You get duelists. It's funny, but yeah, this isn't for us. I don't think.
Alright. I think Beacon of Liberty and Diplomatic Corps is just fine.
All right. You sure you want to leave diplomatic corps in for the start? Because the Senate only comes into play later. So for the first like
Oh, yeah,
3
you're right.
parts, it means that this is just almost gonna be dead weight.
Okay. We'll kick that out and...
We'll put in what was the other one? Parliamentary system you liked?
Yeah.
Yeah, and when the Senate forms, we can change out of parliamentary system and into diplomatic corps.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have that for later. Advisor voice.
We could start with Lithoid. If we get annoyed, we'll change something else.
Sure. Though I am
Yeah.
curious what Ruthless Conglomerate sounds like.
To live is to consume.
And Slick Corporation?
Our multidisciplinary
No.
customer satisfaction specialists are always just a click away. Don't hesitate.
No.
Discover limitless possibilities.
No.
Why don't you?
Oh my god, I haven't vetoed something that hard in my life.
Oh, that was a great
Oh
reaction.
my god. Yeah, fine. Lithoid's fine.
What did we call ourselves?
The Fishilisks.
Right. We might go back and change them for the start of the series. We might not. Meh.
The Interstellar Fishilisk Alliance.
What was there? Actually, it was Liskian. Okay.
Liskian.
I don't know why they prompted for it twice. I don't think they ever use one or the other, but
It'll do.
All
All
right.
right.
This-
So we
this
have
flag-
to do
this
your
flag is
yellow.
shit.
Yeah, that flag needs work. We have to do your yellow and
Put
my
yellow
green.
Okay. I'll put. What color green you like?
A brighter green. One south of the one you just. No,
This one?
over to the right by one. Okay, we may have to change that because that's barely noticeable.
That's more noticeable. A gold yellow, that's fine.
Okay.
Nah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Go scroll down to pointy.
Pointy?
Pointy.
Alright.
Oh yeah, we got to get into some of that pointy shit. The fifth one on the fourth row. No, never mind. That didn't look as good as I thought it would. Third one on that
We
row.
could change the background to other things too. This one?
Okay, now go over to the something
click on a bunch of them.
hexagonal. Something hexagonal. There's got that. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. I like that one. Oh, the weird triple swirly one in the bottom left corner.
This one?
Yes, but now I want something that has a pointer for the icon in the second set of options. The plus sign. The second one on the first row for the emblems. The one directly south of it.
OG flags were important.
This is exceptionally important. What about the triangle southeast of that selection? No, if that were like... I wish you could change the placement of it, because then it
Yeah.
would be perfect. Yo. I actually like that.
You like this?
I like that a lot. Maybe changing the colors in the background.
Yeah.
What if we change the orange part to be more brighter yellow, and then the green can be a darker green? Yeah, no, that's better.
Alright. Good with this flag?
We're good with that flag. Yes, indeed.
Appearance.
Very important. Boring. I figure we could just go through each one. Super boring. Yeah, just start with humanoid. Meh. Okay-ish. Boring. Kinda neat. Neat. Super neat. Boring. Eh.
And this also just the Corvettes with a bunch of different ship classes.
Whoa. Okay.
This one, yeah.
Cybernetic looks like a dude. Oh, you started going through them and I liked them less. Go back to aquatic and go through some of these. Damn, son. Yeah.
Aquatic?
Yes.
Ruler appearance, the starting name. Dort Unrun. What a name.
The ruler title is Finceler.
They're female?
Also Finceler. It's a gender neutral because you know they're fishelisks. Go back to color 2. Hell yeah.
Sure. Starting trait, I like Mining Rush.
Yeah, mining rush. Get those early minerals because it's not going to be a permanent thing, but we are going to need minerals to begin with.
Alright, and that's a build.
That's a build. All right, so that's session 0.
Yeah, we have a build.
And we have we have taught me a couple of things in such a fashion that I'm already like, I need to go actually start a solo file and chronicle what I learn.
Yep. Experience is the best teacher. Go get that tutorial going.
Yep. But I think what'll happen is this was a separate for those who want to see behind the scenes a little bit. This is a separate recording session than the way that normally what we do is we get everybody together and we record somewhere between 2 and 5 episodes, depending on time and energy levels. And then we usually try to do that once a week. So this is a separate recording session, and we're probably not gonna. This was recorded the week of Thanksgiving, so you're probably not gonna. By the time you see episode 1, it's gonna be at least a week later for us. But I have decided that I am very fond of the Fishelisks already.
Alright.
They're my babies. And if anything happens to them, I will kill everyone in this galaxy and then myself.
There you go. Except for yourself part. But killing everyone in the galaxy, now you're starting to get it. Now you're speaking the language of Stellaris.
They're just a means to an end.
It's not a war crime if there's no one left to prosecute.
Precisely. I'm also going to be just very casual. I'm going to take the learning part seriously, but then I'm going to be more focused on the performance that I care about is how well I learn and adapt. How well we do in the game is inconsequential to me because, like you said, it's about the story. It's about the fact that we're probably going to come up with at least 8 more memes that we keep for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, this build is going to do fine. Is it the most optimal min-max? No. Is it unplayably bad? No. It's in the middle. It'll do fine. We'll throw rocks, we'll colonize worlds, we'll get a bunch of pops. We'll be fine.
Alright. Well, anyways, for those of you who have continued watching, I appreciate your continued time and support. And please do look forward to what's going to be the start of 2 concurrent seasons of Stellaris, which is way more than I thought was going to happen around, like, episode, 12, 13 of the first season. Now that I'm better prepared to know that there's going to be some times in the game where things get a little bit funky, we're going to be prepared for it. This time, I will be the one offering help instead of begging for it. But anyways, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and do all that other stuff that all those other YouTubers tell you to do. And if you want other videos to watch of Lord and Phil and I working together on things, there's always the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which are probably going to be long episodes that don't come out as often, but that's okay because it's going to be a lot of content for you to have as background noise when you're working. And of course, there's also watch the series of Insane Monopoly Game 3 or the eventually upcoming Insane Monopoly Game 4, where Lord of Fail gets to be more of a GM than a player. What could possibly go wrong? Laura, do you have anything else you want to add before we
Yeah,
flash
I
over
just
to the
like how we
credits?
spent all that time to just remake the exact same build that I made before in the first one that I showed you.
Did we really?
It's the exact same, except we just changed the ship type and the name and how it looks.
Oh my
And the
god!
plot. It is the same. It's funny.
Don't fix what ain't broke, I guess.
Back where it started. Yeet.
Yeet.